Hey, want to see my mighty pirate scrapbook? It's filled with my adventures. Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be a mighty pirate. That's me, Guybrush Threepwood. In the old days, you became a pirate by completing 3 trials to prove your worth. Treasure hunting is important for any pirate. The pirate leaders were in charge of the 3 trials, acting as judge, jury, executioner, and devoted grog tasters. The test of thievery involved breaking into the governor's mansion. The security was heavy. Mastering sword fighting was more a matter of wits than agility. This is when I met Elaine, the love of my life. She was governor at the time. The test of thievery involved breaking into the governor's mansion. The security was heavy. Things took an unexpected turn while I was working on the 3 trials. Elaine was kidnapped and taken to Monkey Island by the nefarious ghost pirate LeChuck. I scraped together a crew. Carla, Otis, and Meathook joined me on my voyage to Monkey Island to save Elaine. LeChuck thought he was in love with Elaine. My first ship was the Sea Monkey. I bought it at Stan's used ships with a letter of credit that I, sort of falsified. Monkey Island was a steaming volcanic mystery, covered with jungle and not found on any map. You had to brew a special potion just to find Monkey Island. I made some substitutions, but it got us there just the same. On the island was a gigantic monkey head statue with hidden catacombs underneath. The monkey head opened with a special key that you stuck in its ear. There were some people living there who claimed to be cannibals, but I think it was just a show for the tourists. LeChuck's ghostly ship was anchored in a lake of lava hidden beneath the island's surface. I met an old castaway there, Herman Toothrot. He and the locals wrote a lot of indignant letters to each other. We wound up back on Melee Island for the stunning conclusion to my first big adventure. I made it to the church just in time to stop the wedding. Or so I thought. It turned out Elaine already had everything under control. How does she do that? By then, I had learned that ghosts like LeChuck are vulnerable to root beer. Just trust me, it works, okay? I defeated LeChuck and he basically exploded. It was the beginning of something magical. These are from the time I went to find the treasure of Big Whoop. I met my good friend Wally, who makes maps, and I stole his monocle. Good times. The map to the treasure had been torn into 4 pieces, which, let's face it, is about as piratey as it gets. Elaine always seems to know when I need her. The mysterious voodoo lady at the International House of Mojo taught me to make a voodoo doll, which came in handy more than once. Again, it came down to just me and LeChuck at the end. He was using magic, but then, so was I. One time, Elaine got turned into a statue. Well, LeChuck was behind it, of course. That guy never gives up. The fact that he turned her into a statue tells me LeChuck doesn't really love Elaine. He thinks of her as furniture. I got eaten by a snake. I got buried alive. It was around this time that I met Murray, the allegedly all-powerful demonic skull, after a rousing sea battle. Things backfired on LeChuck because Elaine and I got married when it was all over. Game, set, matchmaker. This was a great day. Though in retrospect, we shouldn't have had the scumbar handle the catering. This is the daisy we stomped on together. Wedding traditions are weird. That's either Elaine's wedding veil or my handkerchief. We got them to match. I wrote a great haiku for the wedding invitation. I don't know why you have to have candy-coated almonds at a wedding, but apparently you do. Elaine and me together forever. The daggers are symbolic of cutting through troubles, I think. Oh man, this was that crazy time LeChuck teamed up with an Australian billionaire and tried to use a mystical talisman to make Elaine his bride. The ultimate insult wasn't really ultimate, or even an insult at all. Or was it? LeChuck and I battled it out on a grand scale that time. Everything started because they thought Elaine was dead, so they held an election to replace her. I made a goofy monster out of prosthetic body parts. It didn't help with anything, but I had fun doing it. Then there was the time I accidentally let loose LeChuck's pox over the entire Caribbean. Or so it seemed. I had to wear a hook for a while. It came in handy. Elaine wasn't fooled by LeChuck's human form any more than I was. I should have trusted her more. I went on trial for my life on 4 separate charges. I defended myself, of course. Morgan Le Fay betrayed me, even after we bonded inside a giant manatee. I should have trusted her less. Love did win out in the end. The death card doesn't usually represent literal physical death, except when it does. Oh, here's that voodoo doll from the end of my Big Whoop adventure. I defeated LeChuck with this. His leg came off as easy as tearing a loaf of bread. Oh, here's that voodoo doll from... I defeated LeChuck with this. His leg came off as easy as tearing a loaf of bread.